Monday the 5th of January 2026. I might have said that already. If I have, I'm sorry. I decided to come out to the gym a little bit earlier than I normally would. So I apologise if the traffic and noise in the background's a bit more frequent and loud than normal. It's because it's like 2 o'clock, I think, maybe 1:30. But yeah, I think a couple days ago I even said, like, I predict that this Monday, it's the first Monday of January, I think. Yeah, it must be if it's the 5th. First Monday of January. It's gonna be pretty friggin' busy in the gym, I imagine. I've checked the app, and yeah, it says there's quite a few people there than normal. Not that bothers me too much. I'll still get my workout done. I'm doing upper body today, so I can basically do anything pretty much in any order. As long as I do my heavy chest press followed by a fly, I'll be happy. I'll be friggin' happy. So I apologise if I'm out of breath. I've got new tyres on my bike. They're either incredibly good or an incredibly shit idea. It's very icy at the moment, and I've gone for a tyre I got them for Christmas from my dad. They're much wider, a bit heavier, but they got less knobs on them, knobbly bits. So my grip, I'd like to think the width balances out the knobbles a little bit, but either way, in a straight line I should be much quicker. I just need to be a little bit more careful because they're fresh tyres, so I need to perhaps break them in a little bit. But yeah, holy voice crack. We'll see how they go. They feel pretty nice so far. Definitely feel the less resistance, especially over the front wheel. The rear tyre on my old set was completely worn through. So they were less than ideal, let's just say that. But that's fine. We've got the upgrades now. It's definitely busier. Woo. I'm glad I didn't put my coat on today. That was also the other reason for coming out a little bit earlier, is it's a bit warmer. And by warm I mean 1 degree as opposed to -4. Still not warm, but some of the ice has melted, so it's not quite as icy. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's all those shenanigans out of the way. I had a pretty nice weekend. I didn't go to the gym yesterday because it was my dad's birthday. We didn't do a crazy amount. I don't know, I felt like I probably should have done more, but he seemed kind of just happy doing his own thing. So I kind of just let him get on with it. We watched a movie. We watched Casino Royale, the James Bond film, in the afternoon, and then we went out for dinner and had some cake and stuff when we got back. I mean, what more could you want from a birthday, really? And yeah, of course, gave him his present. He seems very excited about going to the F1, so that makes me even more excited than I already am. But yeah, so that was yesterday. I didn't have time to go to the gym. Not at the end of the world. It was so cold yesterday, so I'm not too annoyed. Plus my triceps are hella cooked from Saturday when I did them. So I gave them an extra day to recover. They're still pretty sore today, but we're doing upper body. I'm basically just trying to grow my chest as much as possible. I felt like my chest is nowhere near as big as it should be for the amount of time I've been lifting, but that's a different story. We're in like week 2 of my bulk, I think. I basically started bulking from effectively Christmas Eve. So I think we're going into the second week. Something like that. I'm not weighing myself every week now. I know the maths behind what I'm supposed to eat. So I might just weigh myself like once every couple of weeks just to make sure I'm on track. I'm just not too fussed about the weight. I've proven to myself now that I can get it off. I know I definitely don't want to bulk as hard as I did last time. I hadn't quite appreciated how big I was at the start of the previous cutting phase I've just done. I knew I was gonna. I started cutting in like September or like end of August, and obviously finished in Christmas. I was losing about 1 kilo a week, and I pretty much did that all the way up until Christmas. The last couple of weeks, I didn't lose quite 1 kilo, but there or thereabouts. So I think I lost like 22 kilo, I think. Quite a lot. Wait, maybe it wasn't quite that much. Maybe it was like 20. But that's fine. I'm really happy with where I got to and the progress I made. I toyed with the idea of cutting a little bit longer just to, I don't know. I've basically just been eating more or less what I want. My weight is not even that much higher than it was where I finished the cut, so I think we're on track, and I just don't want to like obsess over the scale, especially if I know I'm in a calorie surplus. Then I'm not too fussed because I know I'm working hard in the gym. Basically every single set I'm taking all the way to failure, going to the gym like 5-6 times a week, sometimes 7. So I know I'm putting in the work, and I know if I'm eating a calorie surplus I'm gonna grow, so, and I know I can get the weight off when I need to. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, anyway, leading on from this morning, so again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put the recording I did this morning before or after this one, or maybe even like 2 separate videos, talks. I don't know. The sound quality on it, I did it through my headset. Like I have these like wireless Sony headphones, and I'm not entirely sure like what the sound quality of them is like. Well, I wasn't until I did the recording, and it's a little bit muffled, and I think it's also because partially I might have had my hood up, I can't remember. And I also had a little bit of my coat like covering my mouth, which also wouldn't have helped. But anyway, I'd watched my friend's podcast, or listened to my friend's podcast, and he was talking about how he had basically had like a bad mood, and it kind of stemmed from discomfort. And I've obviously I spoke about it earlier. You already know that. I don't know why I keep saying that. I wrote about this a couple years ago, or something very similar, and it's essentially how humans need like a constant. And I probably won't be able to talk about this whole thing like in just one of these. It'll probably be like a multiple episode sort of thing. I think constants in your life are really important, and that's just one of the reasons why I go to the gym and why I'm journaling and meditating, and just something in your life that like you can always rely on and come to and make progress in, no matter what else is happening in your life. If you've got one thing you can go to and you know you're making small progress, regardless of how big or small that progress is, as long as you're developing, learning, you're obviously going to make mistakes. And I think that's one thing I'd always tell my kids, my future kids: make as many mistakes as you possibly can, because in my experience, the only time you ever truly learn something is when you fuck something up yourself. But that's besides the point. He had basically had his like routine disrupted. So in his case, he was trying to use his meditation app to do some meditation, which is his constant in his life. And it got me wondering whether like, because his routine was disrupted, that caused friction. And that friction causes some sort of chemical reaction in your head, like a hormone or, I don't know, some shit like that, to basically put you in a bad mood. And the other example I used while I was writing about this some time ago was something that happened at school. So we used to have these like, I don't know, like social talk. I don't know what they were called, like PSHE, I think is what it was called. That's a big dustbin lorry. Yeah, PSHE. And there was no seating plan, but everyone always kind of like sat in the same seats anyway. And one day, this new guy joined the class, and he, because there was no seating plan, just sat in a random seat. And this girl, who I can only assume has like ADHD or something like that, she was very different. Let's leave it at that. So when she came in and found that this guy had sat in her seat, she went absolutely ballistic. And that's only because her routine got disrupted. Oh, that's a cute dog. Yeah, her routine got disrupted. So I kind of lost my train of thought from that dog. Had she like walked in and sat down like in her normal seat, she would have been absolutely fine and she wouldn't have had a reaction. And I guess this sounds kind of silly, because obviously if something gets under your skin, like it's going to make you feel a certain way and make you react a certain way. And I think because of her condition, I hope I'm not being too mean when I say that, it's almost like that was an extreme of that scenario. And yeah, it just made me think, like, how do we deal with those situations, whether it's big or small, when our routine is disrupted? It causes conflict, it causes friction. And I think something I always try and strive for in life is to be as frictionless as possible. I haven't really got a conclusion to this, but I was just kind of sharing some thoughts. That's kind of where my head's been at with that. And I'm definitely going to go into Constance more about, I'm going to go into more detail at some point about why I specifically go to the gym and why I think everyone should. I think it's a super important thing to do in your life, even if it's for a short period of time. But yeah, I think I'll leave that there. I'm nearly at the gym now, so yeah, I don't know. We will see, we will see, we will see. I'll leave you here.
I don't normally do these at work, but I felt very strange today. I don't know if anyone can hear me, so keep my voice down a little bit. It's like -2 degrees. I'm currently just shoveling leaves because the compost needs to go down a bit more before we spread it. I don't know. I don't really know why I started speaking, to be honest. I've just been listening to my friend's one of these little podcast. And he was basically talking from a place of being in a bit of a bad mood. And he was saying, like, everything's going perfectly fine. I feel everything I'm doing in life is on the right track. Why do I feel so angry on a Monday morning? Which is what it is at the moment. It's currently the 5th of January. Monday. And he made his months ago, back in the summer. Just on a random Monday. He woke up. And when he woke up, he felt absolutely fine. And then his meditation app wouldn't work properly. And it just frustrated him and put him in like a bad mood, just feeling very distracted. Couldn't maintain focus during his meditation. And just like really put him in a weird mindset going into the start of the week. And it kind of just got me thinking, like, how do you deal with that? How do you cope with that? And why does that happen? Because the same thing happened to me at the weekend. I believe it was Saturday. I woke up, I had my breakfast, I did my meditation, no problems there. I struggled a little bit to focus during my meditation, but nothing to his extent that would piss me off. Um, and then, I played some F1 for a bit, and that's where I had my meditation app not working. The game wouldn't load, frustrated me, and I was just in like a really bad state of mind. I don't know. It just wound me up a little bit. I don't really know where I'm going with this. For the record, I feel absolutely fine right now. I mean, I'm a little bit chilly, but other than that, I have nothing really to complain about. I guess I'm just trying to understand, where this switch of mindset can come from, because it seems to happen so suddenly. And I don't want to say it controls you, but it kind of does. It kind of does. What if, what if you just learn to embrace it? What can you learn from it? I think people view an ideal world where you never have to feel like that, and you never have these down periods. But what if it's just your intuition talking to you, and you need to listen to it, and it's your intuition trying to tell you something? Maybe that's thinking about it too much. These are the sort of questions I have, and I guess that's why I'm doing these sort of talks, to try and rationalize my thinking. Gosh, this pile of leaves is so much bigger than I thought it was. You know. Oh shit, hang on. Oh shit. That's so deep. I've just fallen into the 3-foot hole of leaves. I'm gonna hopefully dig this compost over in a minute. I feel like I had so much more to say before I turned this recording on. When I turn the recording on, I don't really know what I want to say. I feel like I sound really depressed right now. I'm kind of not. I'm thinking. I'm thinking pretty hard. I don't know. I'll do another talk later and that pile of leaves didn't look that big until I started digging into it, and it's just sort of much bigger than it looked. Yeah.